Welcome back to the Watchtower Report, where strategy meets reality. Tonight's geopolitical briefing covers four major developments that could shape the next decade of global power: the deepening U.S.-China trade war, a new transatlantic pact between Washington and London, America's growing military footprint in the Pacific, and a high-stakes summit that may accelerate the Global South's economic rise. Let's begin with the largest chess move on the board: China and the United States. U.S.-China trade tensions. The U.S.-China trade war has entered a dangerous new phase, not just as an economic rivalry, but as the foundation for an unfolding global realignment. The Trump administration recently imposed tariffs as high as 145% on Chinese imports, targeting everything from semiconductors and batteries to solar panels and electric vehicles. Officials argue it's a matter of national security, a way to stop China from overtaking the U.S. in key industries tied to AI, quantum computing, and clean energy. Beijing responded fast, rolling out 125% retaliatory tariffs on U.S. agricultural exports, rare earths, and advanced tech components. But China didn't stop at trade. It accelerated yuan-based oil deals with Gulf states, dumped a chunk of U.S. treasuries, and urged its companies to shift supply chains toward BRICS-aligned nations. The fallout is global. American manufacturers are scrambling to relocate operations out of China, primarily to Vietnam, India, and Mexico. Chinese tech giants are accelerating R&D into chip independence, bypassing U.S. licensed tools altogether. But here's the key: talks are set for Switzerland next week. On paper, both sides claim to want stability, but in reality, neither is backing down on core demands. The U.S. wants tech decoupling and strict IP enforcement. China demands tariff rollbacks and recognition of its industrial policies. Unless one side caves, unlikely in an election year or under Xi's consolidation of power, expect the standoff to harden into a long-term economic Cold War. Trade is no longer about efficiency, it's about control. U.S.-UK trade agreement. Next, the United States and the United Kingdom just signed a new bilateral trade deal on May 8th, one that's being pitched as a post-Brexit breakthrough. Here's what's inside. U.S. car tariffs on British vehicles dropped from 27.5% to 10%, capped at 100,000 units per year. The UK will ease restrictions on American beef, ethanol, and biotech products. Tariffs on British steel and aluminum are lifted. The cherry on top? A major UK airline has agreed to buy $10 billion in Boeing aircraft, a clear win for American manufacturing. But let's be clear, this is not a comprehensive free trade agreement. Digital taxes, pharmaceuticals, and data privacy are still unresolved, and the US maintains a baseline 10% tariff on most other UK goods. Symbolically, though, the deal reinforces an old message in a new era. London and Washington are still aligned, even as the rest of the world fractures into economic blocs. U.S.-Philippines military exercises. Now to Southeast Asia, where Balikatan 2025, the largest U.S.-Philippines military exercise in history, is underway. Over 18,000 troops from both nations and observers from Japan, South Korea, and even the UK are taking part. The drills span land, sea, and air, with key highlights. The Typhoon missile system, capable of striking targets up to 2,000 kilometers away, is being tested in real time. Misa's coastal defense missiles are deployed against simulated naval threats. Live-fire amphibious landings and anti-submarine warfare are being drilled in contested waters. While neither side names China publicly, the message is obvious. These exercises are designed to show Beijing that any escalation in the South China Sea or against Taiwan will be met with coordinated resistance. Washington is also building new bases and fuel depots in northern Luzon, just 300 kilometers from Taiwan. It's the most significant U.S. force posture adjustment in Asia since the Cold War. For the Philippines, it's a high-stakes bet, greater security in exchange for deeper integration with U.S. strategy. For China, it's a provocation that cannot be ignored. ASEAN GCC China Summit. Finally, on May 26th, Malaysia will host a summit that could reshape global economics, the ASEAN GCC China Summit. For the first time, leaders from Southeast Asia, the Gulf Cooperation Council, and China will meet under a shared economic framework. Their agenda? Ambitious and strategic. Build new trade corridors linking Middle Eastern energy with Southeast Asian manufacturing. Coordinate investment in green energy, infrastructure, and logistics under China's Belt and Road 2.0 framework. Promote the use of local currencies, the yuan, ringgit, and dirham, instead of the US dollar. This is not just economic diplomacy, it's monetary rebellion. As BRICS expands and dollar alternatives rise, China is leveraging these regional ties to build a multipolar world order where the West is no longer the financial center of gravity. US absence at this summit is no accident. It reflects a broader split. As the West doubles down on alliances, China is quietly building networks, southward, eastward, and deeper than headlines suggest. From tariffs and missile drills to summits and trade pacts, May 2025 is more than a month of headlines. It's a moment of divergence. Two systems are forming, two economic logics are emerging, and the world is being asked to choose. Stay aware, stay prepared, and keep your eyes on the Watchtower. Thanks for watching. If you found this report valuable, subscribe and share to stay ahead of the curve. We'll see you in the next episode.